Hi everyone, welcome to the official draft analysis video of the channel. For those of you who do not know, I was invited to basically be a part of the BUBL, which is the PM7 Draft League Extravaganza tournament, whatever you want to call it. So I was one of several creators invited to just be a part of this wonderful thing. So shout out to John PM7 for the opportunity and the invite. For those of you who do not know, I have done draft before, but it has been a minute since I have done it. The last draft I did was at the tail end of Gen 6 going into the beginning of Gen 7. So back then, I believe my team consisted of like Tornadus Theion, Volcarona, Superior, Weavile, Meladic, Megalopony, those kind of friends. And so you will definitely notice going into this season for BUBL, that I definitely took a few comfort picks, but I'm very excited to introduce to you the team. You'll have the draft analysis video today, and then my first battle against Seabad going up tomorrow. So definitely keep your eyes and ears open for that. But allow me to introduce you to the roster of the Atlanta Absol. So up first, we have Tornadus Theion. As you can tell, definitely a comfort pick. Like I said, I used it the last draft league I had ever done. Proved to be super useful. It's super nice for like Tailwind, defog back then, just getting rid of hazards. It's super fast. It does some cruddy damage whenever you're like needing it to do so as well. Overall, it's kind of annoying to deal with. Definitely a little bit more interesting when it comes into singles and stuff like that, but it was a comfort pick nonetheless, so I went ahead and snagged it as the first member on the team. Overall, its ability regenerator is also just super insane to have on the team, just so in that way I can constantly switch out, have HP back every single time that I switch it as well. It definitely just adds to like the sheer bulkiness of the team for that reason as well. So regenerator is a huge core to like what I'm working with on this team. So that is the first mon on the team. Up next, we have Galarian Sloking, which is definitely a newer mon for me to use. I had never really touched it, dealt with it very much at all, basically ever since its release in Sword and Shield. So definitely a new mon for me, so definitely getting hang of it, used to it, everything. But overall, as you can tell, another regenerator mon. So we have a double regen core as of this very moment in time. So like I said, really helpful when it comes to the bulk. Chilly reception, also being able to set up the snow for anyone who needs to come in and potentially use it. Overall, it's got a ton of type coverage as well, so we can run flamethrower, ice beam, sludge bomb, psychic. You know, like not a lot of mons are gonna want to take that kind of damage, on top of the fact that by the time you get either Assault Vest or anything else on that, this mon is just fat. So that's kind of the goal, to just, like I said, double regen and just be as fat with like as high damage output as humanly possible. Now the third mon on my team, I would like to say that this is my Unabunga damage mon, if you will, is also a callback to my previous draft league that I had done. We have Hoopa Unbound. This thing is just simply there to click the funny button. Really good type coverage. It's like literally you just choice this thing and you just go to town is really the goal. So like I said, just really nasty damage. Obviously it does have a few weaknesses here and there. We don't want to see a bug type. Not at all. Like not one singular bug do I want to see touch this field. However, like I said, it just does so much damage output to where if I'm able to get it in on a clean turn, it's either one-shotting almost anything on the field or getting it just so incredibly chipped. It's also just a really good mon to scare things out as well because, you know, like I said, not a lot of people want to touch it, not a lot of people want to deal with it. So he's just simply there to scare people and click funny button. And if you're watching this and you're thinking that you're going to bring bug types, please don't. It's like girl code, right? Like as the only girl in the draft league, can we at least have like a mutual code of like, you just don't bring bugs, and in exchange, I smile at you very nicely and I say, thank you. Alrighty, up next on the team is just a really, really solid mon. This is just so good for setting up hazards, removing hazards, type coverage, just being something that's just really annoying to deal with. We have Excadrill. I had not used this on my team in draft before, but it's just simply one of the best, the creme de la creme of what it does. So not only do we have a Stealth Rock setter, but we have a Rapid Spinner. It's really good for things like Rock Tomb as well, just so in that way we can get some speed drops on mons if we do need to like get the speed tiers figured out a little bit more. And I mean, like, Earthquake's just a solid move as well. So it's like, you get a lot of diversity out of this mon. It can kind of fit into a lot of different roles. I'm filming this a little into the season, so one of my favorite plays I've actually had all season involves Excadrill. So I'm not going to reveal which battle that was, but definitely keep your eyes out for Excadrill and the silly little things that he can do, because he will surprise you this season for silly little things that he does. And you know what? I love that for him. He's an icon. So shout out to him. All right, next mon on the team is Sylveon. She's our bulky fairy. I had tried so hard to get Clefable, and Clefable got sniped from me literally the turn before I could pick her. And I literally sat there in shambles, in silence and fear, to be honest with you, when she got sniped from me. So because of that, I had to pick a second in line, if you will. So I figured Sylveon still kind of fits that like bulkier role that I kind of needed Clefable to be. However, the nice thing about Sylveon is instead of it being more of a support mon, this thing can still do some crazy damage. You know, not a lot of things want to take a Pixelate Hyper Voice. You know, that's just really what it comes down to. So she's basically here to go ahead and like set some wishes up. Pixelate Hyper Voice to just literally shred anything in front of it. So kind of a little dual support DPS role. But she's just kind of set up there to kind of be that bulky fairy type if we need it. Obviously, fairy goes so well into a lot of different teams and a lot of different comps. So if we can get some wishes and some free switches and stuff like that just to keep the double regen core alive, that's kind of her goal. Alrighty, up next on the team, we have a new mon to me. I had never used this mon in Scarlet and Violet, but it has proven to be an amazing mon that I ended up picking up. This is also one of the 2 Terra Captains on the team. We have Skeleadurge, and Skeleadurge is also here to just kind of be really fat and click funny button. So its ability to tear into really any type has basically allowed for me to just sit there and be really fat with like Slack Off and just a whole bunch of stuff to constantly regenerate HP. On top of the fact that if I'm able to get the nice switch-ins and everything like that, we just sit there and we click Torch Song over and over again. Also the ability to do Will-O-Wisp and Hex and everything like that on the team. If we're able to get a status with like Sludge Bomb on Galarian Sloking or any other mons that you guys haven't seen yet, especially if I have Torch Song stacks and boosts to special attack, almost nothing on the field is going to live a Hex if it's already statused from a Skeleadurge, but B, a Skeleadurge that already has some like special attack investments and boosts. So it's basically there to not only feed off of what the other team is able to get done, but also just to be a wall that sits there and just is able to, hopefully, in theory, rack up a lot of special attack boosts and just damage in general. In the note of being able to pivot off what other mons do really well and being able to help it out, we have another mon that is from my previous draft league that I used that I love, and I'm so happy that I have her because, man, if I did not, I don't know where I would be this season, to be honest with you. We have the queen, the icon, the legend, Meladic. I love her. I adore her. She is just everything that I would ever want and more. I would first pick this mon if I could, but So, Meladic is one of the only mons in Scarlet and Violet that still has access to Scald, which is so massive into a lot of these really physically, like, aggressive teams, I guess, if you will. So, the chance for Burn, which sets it up super well for Skeleadurge in order to be able to get some hexes off and everything like that, on top of just absolutely decimating their attack stat as soon as you're able to get a Burn off, is super massive. We can also either run competitive, so then that way, you know, like stat boosts and stuff like that just aren't as valid, or we can run Marvel Scale and just become the fattest wall ever. So a lot of Scald, a lot of recovering, a lot of just sitting there and doing just annoying things, to be honest with you. It also gets a flip turn in this gen, so it's just a lot of free pivots into a lot of the regen mons as well. So we can flip turn into Tornadus Theion, who's regenerating HP in the back, Galarian Sloking, who's regenerating HP in the back. It gives us just a lot of versatility and just pivoting as well, which is really nice. On top of the fact that even if you don't run Marvel Scale, you can always choice specs this thing, and it just is going to do massive amounts of damage while still being able to be insanely bulky. So I love Meladic. It's one of my favorite mons to ever exist in any Pokemon series game. It's my top 5 of all time Pokemon, so very happy that I have her on the team. Like I said, she's just so good for any role I ever want to slide her into, and she is just the queen at everything that she does, to be honest with you. Alrighty, up next we have another mon from Scarlet and Violet that I had not really used much in the actual games, and so we're just learning it on the fly. We have Titan, which is the second Terra Captain on the team, meaning that it can Terra type into any type that I want it to. This mon is mainly to pivot directly off of Chilly Reception from Galarian Sloking. So in a perfect world, we get the Chilly Reception up, we pivot immediately into Titan. We have the ability to Terra it if we need to, want to, all that kind of stuff. But from there, it's basically Titan's job to just clean up and do a whole bunch of damage. We have Slush Rush on this thing, so it's just gonna feed off of it really well and then be able to produce massive amounts of damage. We can also immediately pivot in and Belly Drum, get to +6, and then just try to one-shot nearly anything on the field is just another option for it. So Titan is also there kind of just like in the role that Hoopa Unbound is, where you click funny button and you just kind of do as much as you can in that very moment in time to just kind of go crazy, if you will. So still learning him, still like feeling the comfort, learning what he can take, what he can't take. Obviously, like I said, it's a new mon to me. I'm used to shiny hunting this thing, not battling with this thing. So we're just kind of seeing where we can go and where we can be from there. But that is the second Terra Captain on my team. Alrighty, we have 3 mons left on the team. So as of right now, the third to last mon on the team is one of my favorite mons of all time. If you guys were here during Subathon last year, you will just be erupting with joy that this is on the team. But we have the pride and joy, the wind beneath my wings. It was available, I had to take it. We have the Jerrys, and for those of you who do not know the Jerrys, they are the mice, they are the mousehold, they are the household of population bombs. They're so silly. They're the silliest little guys. I adore them so much, and I don't care if all of these pros in this league are like, why the hell did you draft this thing? They are the silliest little guys, and they are able to just do the stupidest things you've ever seen on the planet. Like, tell me why in showdown matches, if I run a team of 6 Jerrys, I am one-shotting almost every single thing that comes in front of me. Like, they should not be able to do what they are able to do if you set them up correctly. It's diabolical what they are able to do. So they're here because they're fast. They're here because you can pop bomb till the world comes home. They're here because you can tidy up and not only remove hazards, but you are able to set yourself up so then that way your pop bombs do even more damage. Their window to be able to do what they want to do is quite small. I don't know how much they're really going to be able to do in this league in front of people who are very well established in the draft league community and being very good at their job. However, if I get the opportunity to bring them in and have them do just silly mode, just to feel a little crumb of joy in a game where I don't think, you know, I might win, or just to feel something, you know, the mice will be there and we will have our beautiful Jerry moment for not only me, but the fans at home, because I think we deserve it, to be honest with you. Alrighty. Second to last on the team is actually a last minute mon. Originally, I had Poltegeist and I was gonna do some really silly shell smash strats, and I decided against it. One of my friends is still mad at me to this day for it, but we're here. So I ended up swapping it out for this lovely friend. We have Flygon here. Flygon is here to basically be a backup Stealth Rock setter if for any reason it's just not a good run for Excadrill, or I feel like I need to have like potentially 2 hazard setters on the team depending on what I'm facing. So Flygon's basically here to be backup Excadrill, if you will. Obviously, it's the only Dragon type on my team, so just being able to have access to Dragon type moves, regardless of whether it's like crazy Dragon type moves, you know what I mean, is another story. But obviously the access to Earthquake, Flygon just gets some really good coverage as well. So being able to have another rock setter since I wasn't able to get access to Clefable, and just being able to do some silly things, I'm really excited. Flygon's also a newer mon to me. Obviously, I've used it in like Nuzlocke, but not really much outside of that. So hopefully he gets his time to shine this season and can make him more of a reliable mon on my team to where maybe I draft him again next year. But as of right now, he is that guy, and he do be here. So that's Flygon. Alrighty, and last on the team is also, I'm just like drafting a whole bunch of new mons that I've never really used before. So whether this is going to be good or come to bite me in the butt, we'll find out. We have Hisuian Decidueye. Kind of there to just be able to help with a lot of like things that we were weak to. That was also kind of part of the reason we ended up bringing in Flygon. But it's basically there to just be a lot of coverage. Obviously, it's able to do a ton of damage as well between like Leaf Blade, Triple Arrow, close combat. Especially if you give this thing a Scarf, this thing is fast. So it's basically there to not only be able to do damage, but to give us a lot of, like I said, coverage into mons that we would have been weak to, types that we would have been weak to otherwise. Also, like in a weird way, Overgrow's really good in this situation because it's not like Hisuian Decidueye is like the fattest mon on the field, but if we're able to get it in that HP range and have it be one of the fastest mons on the field, Leaf Blade is going to go crazy into it. So in a weird world, Overgrow's good, but obviously the ability Scrappy and just being able to hit ghost types with fighting type moves and everything like that really makes this a very viable mon. And like I said, it can really play well into a lot of different comps depending on like what we really need going into it. Defog as well to be able to remove hazards. He has a lot of flex and a lot of versatility, which I think is really cool going into this team. So that is your official roster for the Atlanta Ablo going into BUBL Season 1. I'm very excited for this league. Like I said, I haven't been in the draft scene for a while, and when I was in the draft scene, I was never really recording things, and it was against like my friends and not like professional draft players. So for those of you guys who know me, I've been trying to dabble more in like the VGC side of things. We've been doing that a little bit on stream with like some silly Hydrapple comps. Obviously I really enjoy hardcore Nuzlocke, and so just being able to feed into that like little competitive side of me has been a lot of fun, and it brings me a lot of joy to be able to do that way more consistently. Overall, I don't think I'm gonna go into this season really expecting to be like on par with a lot of these players, but I think it definitely gives me a window to really be able to get to a point where I'm comfortable again. And at the very least, even if I'm not winning these fights, I think being able to walk into a competition like this and at least be able to hold my own for a solid amount, or at least like do things that might catch people off guard and be like, whoa, did not see that coming. You know what I mean? I feel like that's almost just as like emotionally like redeeming, I guess is the word. So I'm not really in this league to like make a name for myself, but also at the same time, like being the only girl in the league, being the fact that there's not a lot of girls who do draft, I would like to come in and at least say, you know what, I might not win, but I'm at least gonna make you have to work for what you want to do. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's the impact that I'm able to do, and hopefully this opens the window for more draft opportunities in the future. I'm friends with a lot of people in this league too, so obviously it's a lot of just really good fun and being able to battle people that I really haven't been able to battle before. I was with Seabad at Atlanta Regionals, and he was like, you should have done it, you should have come in, you should have fought. And I was like, I know I should have, and I let you down. So being able to battle like so many friends like Seabad and Nexus, Ben, Vandy, obviously, depending on how the schedule falls and everything like that, I think it's going to be a lot of really good fun. There's a lot of mutuals in here too, so getting able to be close with a lot of them is going to be really cool. Overall, I'm just here to have a good time and do something that's a little different, especially with the dry season going into Legends ZA. I think it's the perfect time to try this out because, you know, why not at this point? So I'm just here to have some fun. I'm not here to be a sweat. I'm not here to hate my life and everything else. So hopefully you guys enjoy the silly content. It's at least something on the channel as a break in between, like I said, all of the fluff and tough and everything until we get some Legends ZA content. So with that being said, you will have the first battle against me and Seabad going up on the channel again tomorrow, and then it should be weekly uploads in theory of some battles going up between me and the friends. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, don't worry. We will have hopefully some content coming to you very soon with Legends ZA. You can always catch me live on YouTube and Twitch for streams. It's based off my work schedule, but streams typically start between 7 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the days that I am available. You can come out. We typically do some Nuzlocke, some really silly shenanigans, and with that, gamers, I am going to stop yapping in your ear. This is your team comp for the Atlanta Absol. I'm super excited. I hope you're excited. I hope you like the team, the vision, the thought process, the way that they're all able to like feed off of each other in a certain way. But I'm gonna stop yapping. I'll see you guys in the next battle. Goodbye.